You do, don't you?
I'd like you to say it.
I think what we're doing is we're talking mainly, instead of talking about that, we're talking about Anthony Hopkins candles. Lots of them doing it. And scented candles, very, very big purchases at the moment, booming on the high street. And apparently that one of the thing is not only in your home, but in offices, spas, cinemas, everyone now wants candles everywhere.
Do you know
Have you got anything to add to the candle
I
discussion?
do, because actually this is going to be a real downer on it, and I'm sorry to sound so miserable. They're bad for the environment. They do. They emit, you know, when you burn anything, it has an impact, and you're not supposed to actually burn stuff in your homes if you can avoid it.
Do you
So that's
follow
like
your own?
cheery
Do you follow
thoughts.
your own mantra on that basis? I thought you said your house is festooned with them.
No, well, not mine. But when you go shopping these days, you can't move for candles. No, I don't.
Move
I mean,
for
I
candles.
do like a candle, but apparently, Louise Lear will know about this because she's clever.
Well, I'll tell you this, Louise. Anthony Hopkins' candle range is a fragrance collection with gardenia, tuberose and sandalwood candles. Does that sound nice? How does that sound?
I don't like sandalwood. I'm not a candle person.
Louise, thank you very much. See you later on.
Must just mention before we move on, Lennox Lewis coming up live on the programme to talk about Mike Tyson's return in about 10 minutes' time. So do not miss that.
Mike Tyson, who is 54, is that right? I think he's
Sounds right.
54. Extraordinary, isn't it? So time now is 6:19. We can take a look at the latest movie releases now. Film review with Mark Kermode.
Thank you. Don't forget, later on in the programme, we're going to be looking at a couple of really big stories for you. First of all, the impact of the financial difficulties on Arcadia, that massive high street group, Topshop, Dorothy Perkins, Burton, all affected by this. So if you're a member of staff at any of those, then do get in touch with us this morning at BBC Breakfast if you want to tell us how you're feeling. And we're also going to be looking at the tier system as well. Questions to experts a little bit later on in the programme, how that's working for you in England.
Let's see, time is 6:43 now. It is a big night for an amateur choir in Yorkshire after losing two of its members to coronavirus. The Huddersfield Choral Society wanted to do something special to honour them.
Now, restrictions meant they couldn't meet up to perform in the usual way, so they enlisted the help of the Poet Laureate Simon Armitage to create two new works, which will premiere online this evening. Our entertainment correspondent Colin Patterson reports. Iran has blamed Israel for the assassination of the scientist who's believed to have masterminded the country's nuclear weapons programme.
In a letter to the UN Security Council, Tehran said it reserved the right to defend its people and its interests. Our security correspondent, Gordon Carrera, has this report. Sarah, morning to you. Good to see you're feeling better, because I know last time we spoke, you were a bit croaky, if I remember rightly. So that's good. We watched the doctor getting better, which is always nice to see. Can I just run through a thought with you? People are getting quite a lot of news which sends them in different directions. So on the one hand, we have the wonderful news that the R rate has come down between 0.9 and 1. So we have that bit of good news. We also have the news about the vaccines, which is progressing of a positive test. We hear those warnings about hospitals and about hospital beds. It's a challenging times in terms of how people think about where we are in the midst of the pandemic.
You're absolutely right, and of course...
Significant. Thank you very much, Dr. Sarah Jarvis, for your time this morning. The sage advice over a safe Christmas and how to celebrate is pretty strict.
Well, they're getting down to some real specifics,
Well,
aren't
yeah. I mean, it's quizzes, not Monopoly. So no board games where you're passing the pieces round, avoiding hugs, kisses, handshakes, no singing or dancing. Particularly both at the same time, Charlie. So that's going to severely curtail your usual Christmas activities. Sorry about that.
7:44 is time. Louise got details for us. Oh.
Thank you. They acknowledge, by the way, that this has massively done the rounds all over the country. More people have seen those lights than would have done otherwise.
Absolutely.
And they say they're happy that they've brought more happiness than they planned to.
You know what I think is slightly sad is that I think I was probably quite old before I realised that sometimes when people push those things down, they're not actually controlling the thing that they appear to be controlling, and that, unfortunately, lays it bare.
Yeah. Shattering the dreams.
I mean, you cannot pretend that at that moment they're actually controlling the thing, and that's blown it, if you excuse the pun.
I'd be
completely.
talking to the set designer, though, about the way that plunger worked.
It's probably only made just before. 10 minutes past 8. So let's go back to one of our main stories today. News yesterday are around 13,000 people employed by one of the high street's biggest retailers. That's Arcadia. And now waiting to hear if their jobs will be safe, with the company said to be on the brink of collapse.
Yeah, it's a huge worry for all those people working in these businesses. Administrators could be appointed to the group. As early as Monday, they own Topshop, Dorothy Perkins and Burton. Here's our business correspondent, Katie Austin. Now, across England, residents and businesses are coming to terms with what the new tiers will mean when they come into effect on Wednesday.
One place that has seen a dramatic change in restrictions is the county of Kent, which went into the month-long national lockdown in Tier 1, but will come out in Tier 3.
Now, the village of Groombridge is split in two, half in Kent and half in East Sussex, which will be in Tier 2. Piers Hopkirk reports.